Don't do it.
And if you smoke yourself to death, tell St. Peter at the Golden Gate, you hates to make him wait. You've got to have another cigarette.
The Great American Smokeout Day once again, and the smoking rate has dropped 15%. This has been going on for years, and this is the day they ask you, the health experts, if you can just try to not smoke a cigarette for one day. See what it's like. Dr. Brad Rodu is the professor of medicine. He has an endowed chair at the Tobacco Harm Reduction Research Center at the University of Louisville in the Solid South, where a lot of the tobacco comes from, doesn't it? Good morning, doctor. Thank you for being available.
Good morning. It's great to be here.
Why is smoking so appealing, and why is it so hard to quit?
Well, it offers a lot of benefits to people. Nicotine and tobacco relax people when they're tense. It basically wakes them when they're falling asleep. It provides a lot of rewards, basically. And smoking is one of the most effective ways to deliver that nicotine and tobacco satisfaction. And that's what makes it hard, really hard, for people to quit.
Okay, and deadly at the same time.
No doubt about it. When you burn tobacco, in addition to getting that nicotine, you're also getting several thousand toxic chemicals that over a career cause lung cancer, all kinds of other cancers, heart attacks and strokes, and emphysema. So yes, it's a very toxic way to get your tobacco satisfaction.
How many Americans are still smoking?
We have upwards of 40 million, depending on which federal survey you pay attention to. It could be as many as 50 million, so there's still a lot of smokers in the U.S.
Is smoking a cigar less damaging from a health standpoint because you don't inhale it?
No doubt about it. I have a blog called Rodu Tobacco Truth, and I discussed an FDA study that showed that a cigar or two a day doesn't have hardly any risks because they're not using them in the same level that cigarette smokers are, and they're basically only puffing, as you said. Mm-hmm. So there are various ways to get tobacco satisfaction, and many of them are far less toxic than cigarettes.
We are in an area of the country where there is a great deal of Middle Eastern influence. Hookah, which seems to be fruit-flavored from the times I've experienced it, is that worse than a cigarette or better from a health standpoint?
Well, we don't have a lot of evidence on hookah, but what we do see is that the toxins are still there. Mm-hmm. Lots of carbon monoxide, which robs your body of oxygen, and a lot of other toxic chemicals. Okay. So we don't recommend hookah as an option for smokers. What we recommend are smoke-free options where you're not burning tobacco and you're only getting the nicotine, which causes none of the diseases of smoking.
Is that those weird, what do you call those weird little things that people are hitting on now? They're little metal things.
E-cigarette type thing?
Yeah, what about that?
Exactly, e-cigarettes. What they do is they don't burn, but they create a vapor of nicotine, a carrier, and some flavors. And since there's no burning, the toxin levels are vastly reduced. And the Royal College of Physicians in England, one of the most prestigious and oldest medical societies in the world, estimates that e-cigarettes are no more than 5% as harmful as cigarettes and probably a lot less harmful. So we know that these are great options. They're being used by American smokers in huge numbers, and many of them are quitting.
Okay, advice for somebody who wants to, according to the Great American Smokeout, try today not smoking anything. What's your advice?
Well, the Great American Smokeout will only be great if American medical organizations start giving smokers all options for quitting. That includes, of course, medical options like the gum and the patch and counseling and all of that. But it also includes other tobacco products that are less hazardous. like vapor products or e-cigarettes, smokeless tobacco as well. It's vastly less hazardous. That's American dip and chew products. Once we educate smokers about all of these options, then they'll have a lot more choices to lead longer and healthier lives.
Have you ever smoked a cigarette in your life?
Not a single cigarette. Yeah. What I've done is lived in cancer centers. My career has been in major cancer centers where I've seen the devastation of people who haven't been able to quit in time to avoid a deadly illness.
Well, thank you for sharing that warning with us today, Doctor. We sure appreciate it on the Great American Smokeout Day.